Hi guys, welcome to your training on how to hack your body for fat loss. I'm going to take you through some simple changes you can make to your diet to make fat loss seem more effortless. It's going to fill you up more. You're going to naturally eat less so that you don't have to try and keep your calories down, which it's such a challenge for dieters because we've been taught for years to just eat less and move more and to count calories, but just eat whatever you want. And that makes it really difficult to lose weight, actually. Your body is not designed to be in an energy deficit. It doesn't want to be in one. So when you reduce your calories in order to try and lose weight, although you will see some initial success, I'm sure you've probably experienced before the plateau that comes, whether it's in a few weeks or a few months, you stop losing weight. And then you have to reduce your calories again. And at some point, you're going to bottom out and you're not going to have anywhere to go. And this is because as you reduce your calorie intake, your body reduces your metabolism. So you actually burn less calories as well. And this is a survival mechanism. This is to prevent you from dying. So it's a very smart mechanism, but it's one that makes weight loss for a lot of people very difficult. And it's something that I fell into for a long time. And a lot of people, women in particular, will go straight for like a 1,200 calorie diet, which is probably less than you actually burn in a day just being alive. And it is a starvation diet. That's not an exaggeration. And so it's really important that instead of trying to just reduce our calories, we actually eat in a way that our bodies were designed to eat, because you will naturally find that your body fat reduces. Sorry, I just had to turn off my tumble dryer. So your body is not supposed to be overweight, but it's not supposed to be super, super lean either. It is supposed to fall into a natural balance. And this is by eating the way that nature intended us to eat. If you've followed me for some time, then you'll already know this. If you've taken my programs, you'll really, really know this. But this video, I want to keep it as simple as I can so that you can just take away enough information to take action on. I don't want to overwhelm you with information. But if you would like more, then please do reach out and we can go more in depth. So the very, very basis of it is focus your diet on protein, veggies, and healthy fats. And to keep carbs, you don't need to go keto, but just to keep them low. The reason for this is you only have a limited storage capacity for carbohydrates. So just briefly, you can store about 500 grams of carbohydrates in your body at any one time, which isn't a massive amount. You would have to fast for a whole day to burn through all of that, maybe 2 days, depending on how active you are, or a couple of hours of like really intense activity. And so when you're eating too many, you exceed that storage capacity, and then they're stored as fat. So although they're not the devil, I'm not saying never eat carbs again. They need to be eaten in a smart way. And so the best way to do this, and this is the way I do it as well, is to keep your carbohydrate intake to around your workouts. So you could have, for example, this is what I do personally, have a banana before your workout. And if you wanted to have another piece of fruit afterwards, or maybe you wanted to have some sweet potato with your post-workout meal, then that's the best time to do it. The reason for this is that you're going to use those carbohydrates. So if you eat your banana, let's say half an hour before you do a workout, the carbohydrates are going to enter your muscles and they're going to fuel your workout. You're going to use that up in the workout, and then afterwards you can have some to replenish a little bit, and your muscles are going to be really primed to take that carbohydrate back on board. And because you're not eating in excess, you're not going to store it as fat. After a while, your body is then going to be primed for burning its own fat reserves, or the fat you eat, as energy. So healthy carbohydrates to focus on would be fruits, root vegetables like sweet potatoes, parsnips. You could have some white potatoes. They do have a larger insulin spiking effect than the others. I will post a list so that you can see. I don't want to reel off a huge list now. But those are the ones you want to focus on, are ones that come from nature, fruits and vegetables mainly. But when it comes to green vegetables, leafy vegetables, things like mushrooms, the low carb, low starch vegetables, eat them in abundance. So let me just check my list. Oh, avoid carbohydrates at breakfast. So the reason for this is your blood sugar's already rising in the morning in order to wake you up. Like, your body does that by itself without you having to eat anything. This is because you've been fasting overnight. So it wants to raise your blood sugar so you've got the energy to get up and out of bed. So if your blood sugar is already rising in the morning, what you don't want to do is add to that load, because then you're going to have to increase your insulin production in order to bring it back down again. And increased insulin increases fat storage. So what we want to do is keep your insulin levels not low to the point of like, you know, unhealthily low, but you want to keep them within a natural healthy level, which means not spiking them throughout the day. This is why, again, if you eat your carbs before your workout, your insulin is going to put that sugar back into your muscles. They're available for exercise and you can use them. So doing this is going to increase your insulin sensitivity, and it's also going to help you burn more fat. So that is as basic as I want to keep it, I think. Let me just check all of my notes. I've got them over 2 notebooks, which is really helpful. I kind of brain dump in one book and then clarify in another. Oh yeah, so the other thing I wanted to say was, the other thing about carbs is they're quite addictive and they spike your appetite. If you think about the kind of foods you can't help but overeat, you'll probably agree that most of them are processed carbohydrates. Crisps, chocolate, biscuits, ice cream, even like potatoes for me, I can overeat them, bread. So it might be worthwhile for yourself, make a list of all the foods you find it hard to control yourself around. And then you can look at that list, and it's not about saying I'm never going to eat them again because that's unrealistic. But if you've got this list in front of you of foods that you have a hard time controlling yourself with, you know you want to limit how often you expose yourself to that, because this is natural and normal for you to overeat high energy carbohydrate dense foods because it's a really quick source of energy. And although it's not the best thing for your body loves that, because in its mind, like in, you know, the primal part of your brain, it just doesn't know that we are living in a world that's abundant with food. And so it wants to prepare for potential lack. So high carbohydrate, sugary foods, they spark the pleasure centers in your brain. It's like taking a drug. So they're addictive, you can't help yourself. And again, this is a survival mechanism, but it's not a very useful one in this world that we live in today. So what I want you to avoid is that guilt of, you know, we all start off with good intentions. I'm just going to have a couple of spoonfuls of ice cream and then I'll put it away. Well, no, you won't. It's an addictive food. And I want you to let go of any guilt about that, because that's just the way your brain is made up. It's normal and natural. And so the reason I'm saying to limit your exposure to this is so that you can avoid that guilt cycle. But also I want you to know that when you indulge in an entire tub of ice cream, that's fine. Just don't do it all the time. Keep it to like once a week. And we talked about this in the How to Enjoy Treats video as well. So there's no guilt, there's no shame. It's something that, of course, you could control it if you applied massive amounts of willpower, but that's really difficult to do. And I just don't think that it's worthwhile setting yourself up for failure like that. So allow yourself these treats, but not too often. And that is it really. So just let me bullet point. Protein and fats at breakfast. Avoid carbohydrate breakfast. Keep your carbohydrate intake to around your workout times, before and or after your workouts, for the best use of them. If you're not working out at the moment, you can still have some, just keep it to a small portion and maybe keep it once a day, or have a couple of pieces of fruit a day and leave it at that. And that will help keep you burning fat for energy. You can still enjoy some carbohydrates, just don't go crazy. And that's going to really set you up for success. So I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, please reach out.